in the alpha experience of Godforge, it's quite hard to keep the energy in 3 digits. So that's what I did. The energy is obviously full and it's overflowing. Now, we left off with level 60. I did my job and started grinding. I still have quite a lot to do to develop these units, but I'll try level 60 regardless, because if I win, then I'll be able to grind more, more per energy. That's what I'm expecting. And here we have Hell, level 50, 5 stars. Obviously I don't have an option to stick star anyone yet. We'll see this later. Also Osiris and Epic, and then other Epic Bastet. So they all have gear, they all have Ascension, basically to 3 stars each. Unfortunately, when it comes to Ascension, I'm still short on these redstones, so we will need to make these changes. Isolde is fully awakened. Just look at this, 5 awakening in total with all the extra skills, extra abilities. So also place attack up 1 for 2 turns for this skill. Initial divinity plus 50, so it's now 400. And charm cannot be resisted, that's even better. Initiative plus 5 and placement for 2 turn random ally. Amazing. So we got the full awakening here. We also started like awakenings, like 2, because I managed to get some rare heroes. Unfortunately, I don't have any more epics legendaries, I just have these heroes for now, plus the food. So now the time of truth is coming. I have different teams to try out, initially on auto. Remember, we didn't get this boss last time. Now I'm expecting that we will at least get to the final stage. And we'll see if it's enough or if it's not enough. I mean, it's not that much of a grind, but I did some things to get better. Now I'm gonna place the legendary, then the 2 epics, then the awakened hero. This clown doesn't really matter at this stage, I would say. Neither Icarus. So we will try this out initially on auto, just to get a feel for what weaknesses we still have. Weapons are also upgraded big time. I was grinding main weapons as well as some gear. I mean, I'm still not satisfied with the gear that I got. Maybe we'll demo this a bit later. Or maybe I can do some things with gear or weapons. Now, first wave was easy. Remember how hard that was not too long ago. Second wave is not hard. I mean, they haven't even moved. And now they just have a buffer, and the opponent couldn't even do anything. This is the boss that was hard last time. You see, this is this golden statue, right from Wizard of Oz. Okay, rather not. He's alone though, has a lot of energy. His turn meter is filling up. Now that's dangerous. Once the turn meter is gonna be full, some nasty surprise is gonna happen. This came at the right time. And there you go. But we leveled up, so we didn't resist. It's not resistance, it's just we endured the fight. Or at least the first damage attempt. Bounty 78, bounty 81. What does this bounty do? That's a good question. Now turn meter is up for the opponent. Has a lot of debuffs though. So let's pause for a moment. Well, I cannot pause while this is there. No, I just wanted to pause so that I can inspect this. Like bleed, curse, vulnerable, all these things. It seems like I overdid the grinding a bit. I mean, I spent about 800 energy in total. 6 to 800, I didn't count exactly. Since the last recording. And as far as I remember, level 62 or 63 was hard last time, even after defeating this. But back then I barely defeated the opponent, now I defeated them quite clearly. So we can move on and unlock the new stages. We got all the like weapon. Oh, legendary weapon, that is quite good. Let's go to the next stage. We got 300 energy, so the 3-digit energy was just a dream. Level 61. Oh, I wanted the enemy team anyway. So these are the enemies, they are like 4 stars, 5 stars. I already have a 5-star legendary, so... Plus usually in these types of games, the idea is that when you have casters, spellcasters, buffers, debuffers, their star level up is not as important as the main heroes level up, the main damage dealers level up. You do this in exactly this order. Now they have to survive, but the survival of a unit doesn't only depend on the number of stars, it rather depends on the gear as well. So you see it got a bit harder because now we're facing 5-star opponents. I mean, harder means slower, because even the ultimates just don't damage everyone fully. Now please don't revive the opponents, it's kind of bad. Okay, I understand they start fighting each other, this mechanic, we saw this even before. And an ultimate skill got wasted, basically. This is why you don't want autoplay whenever the going gets tough. When things are easy, and you see how comfortable I am right now with this level, when it's easy I can get entertained by seeing how bad choices the AI makes. One thing that I think that this game could mess up big time, and I hope it won't happen, it's an ego-driven issue, that if you compare Godforge to Raid, amazing, epic gear. So if you compare Godforge to Raid, and you see how little Raid does, I mean, they buff a champion like 1 per month, maybe 2 per month, maybe 2 per 2 months, 1 per 2 months. And it is really not much. The thing that Godforge could mess up big time, and I hope they won't, is to be on the other side of the spectrum and be too reactive. So in this case, if the team is too reactive to user feedback, that can also be a bad thing. Because once you become too reactive and you change the heroes because those heroes are not according to expectation, people speak in accordance with where their wallet is. So if they paid for getting a hero stronger and they were not satisfied and their resources got semi-wasted, they are gonna lobby for their hero to be stronger or someone else's hero to be weaker. So they speak from a position, from a standpoint. And if you're overreactive to this type of biased feedback, in that case the game can be thrown out of balance, the game can be less enjoyable as well, because there is always a vocal minority and a silent majority. Next. Which level is this? 63rd level. Now energy is higher, so no wonder my energy is not depleted when I have to spend like 2 energy or 4 energy. But I'm also getting more resources. So for 6 energy you get more than 2x of the resources than for 3 energy. Otherwise everyone would farm the 3 energy. So we got back to Japan. Remember the cherry blossom. Attack up, defense up. So this hero is basically a local version of Sabita, the Downcaller, if you remember from January. She was my first ever fusion epic, and I managed to get 2 copies of her basically back in the days with a less than 1 month old account. It was a mixed fusion back in the days, remember? You know what mixed fusion is? You mix Visa with MasterCard. In reality it was like you get 25 champion fragments 16 times, that's like 400 fragments, and then you level up 4 epics, ascend them, and then you fuse the legendary. It's the... in terms of disgust level, it's in the middle somewhere. Now, we got 2 stars, so we don't have to come back anymore. This looks like an imprint to me, yeah, imprint reward. So I haven't done imprints yet, I will experiment with it once going gets tough. Going is not tough at all at the moment. I'm also looking forward to getting my 2nd legendary, and then I will farm XP. So this level 60 is the 2nd big hurdle. And you see that there is really nothing to it, you just play the game basically, and grind. Well, grind, you don't play the game actually, you just grind. So it's, you can go to some, whatever, like meetings, shopping, do like homework if you have homework, or anything, or study. And then the game plays itself in the background. This is why I would prefer auto battles, because I don't really want my video card, and so this genre feels a bit like Bitcoin mining in the early days. That basically you just burn quite a lot of energy so that you get pixels on screen, so you get some new currency. But the only problem is that Godforge accounts cannot be sold. You know, this is a property of the Godforge team, so it is not like Bitcoin mining, that I'm like mining my character to be stronger. There are these types of games out there, it's called NFT, non-fungible token games. Maybe I'll get to know some. The only problem with NFT games though, is that most of them are cash grabs. Short-term cash grabs. So if there was a long-term game, like a real game studio started NFT games, you know, I have some like blockchain coding expertise, by the way, so I know that it's not easy, and most of these games are cash grabs in a sense that they are there for the short run, and their graphics as well as gameplay as well as everything else is nowhere near a AAA game or like the best mobile games out there basically. So that's why I'm saying that most NFT games are cash grabs. The other issue is that in the crypto world you have oftentimes this mentality that you form bubbles and those bubbles have to burst. And when you set up a game economy where people make money, obviously some people are interested in cashing out as much as possible, and when you take too much money out of the economy, basically your efforts are gonna be susceptible to the people taking money out, because if you crush, let's say, the token, what happened to Axie Infinity, it was basically a Ponzi scheme, you crush the mana token, in that case people will be less incentivized to play in the future and the whole thing collapses. And the real problem is that, imagine that I have a legendary, for example this legendary here, imagine if I had to pay $2,500 to get that legendary because some other people inflated the price of the economy because they wanted to cash out and they formed a bubble. And then you buy your legendary for $2,500, it is yours, you can sell it absolutely, but the economy collapses to 1/10 of its value and now you can only sell it for $250. This is when things get difficult. That's why there hasn't been a good enough NFT game so far, simply because if there is one, the economy of the NFT game will get destroyed by greedy people basically, who want to make a profit. They make the profit, they cash out, and once the trend is over, the game collapses. That's why it's hard to make NFTs or NFT games. So I would assume that a trusted company where you have a centralized marketplace and basically if it was possible to make money, that would be amazing on games like this. Now, just like back in the days in poker. Now, this will lead to other challenges. The other challenge is that just imagine that you could win money with Godforge. In that case, it would be regulated sooner than later, just like poker, just like other games. And the regulators are gonna just screw with the companies, and most companies don't want that. They would prefer staying gaming companies. Well, that's one problem with the win. The other problem is that right now I'm not seeing a good enough esports type of game. Esports in a sense that there is some skill involved, and there is obviously some grinding involved as well. So for which can be substituted by money. So you have all the chances to compete in PvP. The only problem is that those who spend thousands obviously have more selection. Obviously, like more higher team. Ethereum Restart is trying this with some $1,000 tournaments, $2,000 tournaments, but this niche is kind of empty. And you know what the thing is with this niche? I know some raid players back from 2019, 2020. So basically, oh, too bad. That's how far we got. So floor 66, I'll have to figure something out. Let me edit the team. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'll have to regroup and do something else. So this is basically the fight content of the video. Now, you know what the problem is, that with esport, you only have, right now, Ethereum in this genre. Or maybe the Asian ones, like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, these ones. There is a gap, and we could navigate into this gap with some paid tournaments and everything else, just like Ethereum. And their skill, as well as money, could be influential. And you know, this is profitable for the company. Why? Because as I said before I got defeated, is that back in the days, when Raid was kind of new, some people went all in terms of money, because they thought that Raid would be the new esports thing. And some people spent like 10% of their IT salary on this, which is a 4-digit amount in some cases per month. And you can imagine how crazy those accounts became. And Raid obviously didn't become esports ready. Raid is not balanced at all. This game is not balanced that much either. It's okay, but it doesn't have to be balanced. Now, if you're way out of balance, then the problem is that there is going to be one strategy that wins all. For example, Ethereum, you have the same strategy now with the top players. But this may shift from time to time, so it's still okay. And whether you have what it takes to compete, that's another question. And in esports as well, there is a lot of money in esports. Also coverage. So maybe getting into this genre is not a bad thing. So that was it. We got from level 60 to level 66. That's not bad. Without any changes. Now, we're playing against 5-star heroes, so it's not gonna be a super easy thing. 65 is done. Some of them 2-star. This is the next well, not a big difficulty spike. I think it's gonna be super easy. But now I can farm some gear on 61 to 64, as well as the red ascension materials. This is gonna be super important. And unfortunately for XP and weapon material, there is still only level 59 left. So I might have to do the 2-star. Defeat the stage with at least 2 epic heroes. Come on, I can still do this, because I have 2 epic heroes. So you're the leader with speed. I don't know if it's a good strategy. These are arena reflexes from Raid. Most likely it's not a good strategy. And here are my 2 epics. Let's go. Because this is the biggest thing. You know why? Because you need to see the 2-star rewards. There are scrolls. And you take those scrolls and improve the skills of the said epics. Because those are epic scrolls as far as I saw. And then the skill cooldowns and everything else will be drastically different. Although it's not a matter of skill cooldowns. Now, I was in the middle of a conversation in there of what Raid could become for like esports ready, or when money is involved, so you can win money somehow. But I think I lost that stage, stage 56, quite quickly, which means that it's not about cooldown, because by the time the cooldown is in effect, it's too late. But sometimes you get some extra skill as well. Now, we should quickly get rid of these opponents, especially with the said 2 epics. And by the way, I have now enough energy to make 1 legendary, I think. Oh no, not 1 legendary, 1 6-star legendary. So absolute worst case I'll go 6-star. Good. So we got the 10 scrolls. That's it. So we go heroes. Select the epics because they got 10 scrolls. And upgrade abilities. Well, I could have done it in the other way too. And here, level 1 out of 6, 4 out of 5, I'm gonna invest 6 into this. Now they made the level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I saw a screenshot where there's like level 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That was a bug somewhere else. I'm still yet to submit it. Okay, that was the skill upgrade for 1 epic. And given we have 2 epics in total, I'm not even considering like where to put it, where not to put it. I'm fine here. And we got the extra levels. This is more than nothing. And this is what you also need to bear in mind, like 2 stars. Okay, what is the 2-star reward here? What is this? Imprint reward, fine. Energy for 2 stars. Purple Ascension, the big one. Maybe it's worth doing. At least 2 invokers, fine. I'll need to understand what invokers are. I wish the filter worked because then I would be more like incentivized to find the heroes, level them up and so on. Invoker, I know what invoker is. That's how I do it in all games. Now here it's a bit like a spreadsheet like. So if I find something interesting, then I'll let you know, like imprint reward, fine. I mean, I have 5-6 weapons, so absolutely. This is a 1-star thing, right? Universal imprint, yeah. It's like imprints that are missing. Now, listen, 49. What is the challenge? At least 1 defender and 1 invoker. Okay, I need 1 defender, I need 1 invoker. Let's see, level 49, because that could be actually a game changer. Slayer, Brawler, Slayer. That's Invoker, that's like the spellcaster. And I need a defender, not a Slayer. Yeah, I have too many attack like this. Brawler. Aren't brawlers defenders? That's a good question. They're all Slayers. What are you? Disruptor. Now, this looks like a defender, right? Defender. So, wish the filter worked, but it doesn't. Now I know the icon. So, with the icon, I can check, for example, Shishi is a defender, fine. Hippolyta is a defender. These are all defenders. Good to know. So, I will take someone with myself, so either, yeah, this is fine, or the other unit. I will take the statue with me. So, you go level 49, you need to do it in a smart way, and here is the caster. We'll take out one of them, and we'll take in the defender. End battle. I should be able to not exactly solo the whole thing, but the 3 units are enough, so it doesn't even matter what the 4th unit skill is. Because you know that with these skill upgrades, they are big, like super big in terms of skill. So turn meter increase, everything else is there. Level 49 should be super easy by now. So if I had filters, that would be amazing, obviously. Now the defender just died. Happens from time to time. But the other 3 are basically intact. That's why you need to grind from time to time. So this is just some idea of what you could do. Some of the second stars are important. It's not because you get the stars. Who cares about the stars? This is not a competition wave or anything. It's about the rewards that you get. Okay. So now you're getting the 5 books. And then we go back to the heroes. And go to the legendary. Abilities. Upgrade. One of them is locked, so Ascension is something I will need to farm to. And I'll upgrade it 5 times in total. Now, this skill may be the worst to upgrade, I know, and we would need to wait for the lock. Then this may be something that I shouldn't invest in this skill, and first I would need to do the Ascension. It's possible. We have passive unlock all the way to 5 stars, 6 stars, looking forward to it. So I need to farm this green thing as well to ascend them to 5 stars. So this is gonna be the next thing. So you see there is always a way to do something, and with 1450 energy you can imagine how much can be done. Like a lot. So for this reason, just stopping here. You see this is like a roadblock. Solving it through, like, by throwing extra resources to the problem. And then I'll come back and continue climbing. Preferably to level 80.